Alright everyone, how's it going? Now in this video I want to talk a bit about the career mode of FIFA 15. Now mainly I'm an online player, since career mode generally gets a bit stale for me after one season. Just find it very turgid and a little bit unprogressive. It doesn't seem to get any better, it doesn't seem to change much. So I always get bored of it after about one season on the game. But maybe now FIFA 15 will see a change to that, because there has been some quite progressive updates that I'm happy with. The biggest one so far, as some of you will probably know, is the fact that now you can play with all 20 stadiums in the Premier League. So anyone who's in the Premier League will have their own stadium. Makes it that little bit more authentic. I mean, if you don't use the Premier League, then maybe it's not going to affect you in the slightest, but as someone who does use Premier League teams, that's going to be a great addition for me, and will probably make me be a little bit more enthusiastic about the game coming out. It's always hard to gauge something before it actually comes out, but I read an article on Foothead, I'll link it in the description, and someone who managed to play FIFA 15 career mode for about 3/4 of a season gave his views, his detailed views and opinions on that, and most of it pleased me really. I'm quite happy with what was wrote, and it's the sort of stuff that I wanted to see improved. And maybe it's different with every person. Maybe you're more bothered about the in-depth new features or the youth system or the scouting system or whatever, but as someone who always prefers the gameplay element of career mode, I'm happy. I mean, teams have always been very similar. You can play against Stoke, you can play against Man United, you can play against Barcelona, but from what I've noticed in past career modes, teams don't have much individuality towards them. Sure, Messi will play a little bit differently to Shawcross, but there isn't that much character to most teams, and that's always made career mode quite boring for me and quite annoying. I could beat Liverpool 3-0, but then I could lose to Stoke or Wigan at home 2-0, and it's just not that realistic. From what I could see from the article, if a team's losing, they'll change the style, actively try and press forward and try and get a goal, and on the opposite side, if they're winning, they'll tend to be a bit more cautious, stay back and sort of play for the win, not commit many plays forward. So in general, they'll play depending on what the result is and if they're a good team and if they're the underdog or not. So for once, it looks like teams are actually going to sit back if they're winning or counter impressing if they're forward, and make it more tense and more unpredictable. And also, which is a bloody relief, there's going to be a revamped team management. You can actually tell players to perform certain functions like overlap, stay up front, sit back. You know, not massively complex things, but just little stuff that will help you have a managerial element to the game. So if your fullbacks aren't pushing forward that much, you can tell them to overlap, and if you've got a striker who keeps coming deep, then you tell him to stay forward. So, you know, it does have an effect, but ultimately you are playing the game, it's you who makes the difference. But little things like that can make the game more pleasing to play. So these things, they make a welcome change for me. As someone who plays mainly online, I always get a little bit bored of online now and again, so I'll just go to career mode, and it just does the same thing for me. It doesn't particularly excite me. It's a thing of the past, I've always thought, but maybe FIFA 15 now will make it a bit more alive. There seems to be genuine good additions to this computer AI. Usually it's all about the new features, which don't really bother me. I'm all about the gameplay itself, because ultimately that's what you control. I mean, I play Football Manager and I also play FIFA, and I like both games, but I've always played Football Manager for the more tactical element, the more complex element of controlling the team and everything around the team, from training, the transfers to the whole scouting element. But you don't actually play the game, and so what you do behind the scenes makes a difference. On Football Manager, you can set the tactics and you know for a fact that that will have an impact on the game. But on FIFA, if you do that, you could do all this stuff, you can make all the complex additions to the game, you can add all the features that Football Manager has, but you are playing the game, so all that goes out the window as soon as you play the game, because what you do matters, not what you've done behind the scenes in the training ground, or you know what I'm trying to say. Basically, you play the game, that's what matters, nothing else. So I'm happy that gameplay features like the computer AI have actually been revamped, so hopefully now you can have a more realistic, unpredictable experience when playing the game. So maybe FIFA 15 career mode is alive again. I won't know until I get the game, but it sounds like progress to me, and hopefully now I can have a bit more of an alternative experience, not just online, but hopefully now there'll be some offline play that will I will get a bit of enjoyment out, and maybe, you know, I can make a series out of it on FIFA 15 if I enjoy it enough. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure some of you will disagree. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.